I started off as an apprentice at the then Texaco Trinidad Corporation, and after 8 years there, I joined the teaching service as a TechVoc teacher. I only spent 3 years as a TechVoc teacher with the Ministry of Education, and Caroni had an opening for a trade school instructor because they were setting up a trade school to improve on the quality of tradesmen within the system. So I joined the company on July 1st, 1975, and within 6 years I was promoted to a personnel officer. We now call that human resource officer, with responsibility for technical training within the organization. At the school, all persons who were recruited into the company's apprenticeship system, before they go to the factories and the transport and field engineering department, they must spend 1 year at the company trade school, where they got a basic diagnostic year. So at the time, we used to do approximately 60, 70 people a year we used to take on at the trade school. And the reason for doing that large numbers is that the Point Lisa estate was being developed at the time. Well, the training center at St. Madeleine was only to provide training for the first year of the apprenticeship program. After that, they went to all the operating departments of Caroni Limited. From Orange Grove, we had people coming from anywhere. It was open to the public. So when we were locating people afterwards, we tried to give them a location closest to their home. Caroni was the foundation. They were trained at Caroni Limited, and they spent some years and get the experience, and then they migrated out into those industries because they were paying far greater salaries and compensation that Caroni had offered. Okay, when Caroni closed down, about 1 month after, Caroni approached me and asked me to come back and be an advisor to the CEO at that time with respect to the retraining program, especially in the technical area. At that time, the Employers Consultative Association had gotten a contract to manage that. There were a lot of people within the organization who did not know what they wanted to do. There were a lot of people who work in cultivation who probably were 50 years old, 45, 50, 55 years old. The education level was pretty low. Some of them could not read and write. And that group of people, they access training, some access training, but mostly the agricultural areas. The persons in the operating departments, in the engineering departments, benefited tremendously, and even those persons in the accounts and the administrative areas, a lot of the younger people who were in those areas went on to do degrees through the retraining program. At the time, degrees at the university and paid for by the company. And bear in mind, at that time there was dollar for dollar. So even though the company was offering a certain amount because they were trying to share the $25 million that was available to everybody and with some kind of equity. What happened, because some people were not accessing the funds, the company went further by giving those persons who wanted to continue more money. The minister of the day, the minister responsible for Caroni, she had given the approval to do that. After a period of time when you see that some people were not accessing their portion.
What was the quantum like?
The quantum, it was the persons who were doing degrees were given $9,000, but I'm aware that some people who were doing degrees who asked for more did get more. We had something called open days, and at the open days we got all the training providers to come at the open days, spend a day with us, set up their booths, and invite all the Caroni employees, the VSEP employees, to come to these open days. And when they come to the open days, they go and talk to the different providers. The Ministry of Agriculture was very, very instrumental in providing training for people who were interested in agriculture. And we get the best training because we get the experts to come in. And Caroni Limited provided the facilities because Caroni had facilities. Tried to keep it into a local area. We work with the people, and I will tell you most of the training was done in the afternoons. Afternoons meaning after 4 o'clock in the evening. And Caroni provided facilities. All the agricultural programs were done on evenings. All the technical skills were done on evenings. And I'll just go one step further. Caroni had 2 big areas that we set up workshops to do training: welding and fabricating and electrical and instrumentation and everything. Those were mostly for the people who were interested in that area. They couldn't come in a day. So what we did, we provided training from 5 o'clock in the evening to 9 o'clock in the night. We know, we advertise it, we send it around, we mic it and everything, and people never responded. I will tell you one thing more. I went around to all the villages. We had something called walkabouts. We talked to people, asked them how they're doing, how they benefited and that type of thing. And we made these offers to people. The closure of the company was done too abrupt. It should have been phased in or phased out, as the case may be, and people should have been trained while they are still employed. In other words, they could have done it over a 5-year period. I have no regrets working in Caroni. The salaries wasn't the best at the time, but the rewards and how you feel personally.